We are back with Mark Hensley and David Kirkman, both with AARP. We're talking about fraud, scams, how to protect yourself, and we're taking your questions as well. Again, you can text them 336-379-5775. All right, Mark, let's talk about Elder Abuse Awareness Day, which is June 15th. I think a lot of people, when they hear elder abuse, they think that it's a physical thing, and most often it's a financial thing.
It is a financial thing, and the Triad Elder Abuse Awareness event is June the 15th. It is sponsored by and brought to you by the Piedmont Triad Area Agency on Aging. We're at Triad Park starting at 9 o'clock. We'll have a shred truck there so you can bring your documents and shred them safely to protect your personal information. We'll have a medication disposal so you can safely dispose of those. And the big thing is this is a fun event with hundreds of people, with vendors that have lots of good information about how to protect you, your loved ones, and your family against elder abuse, including fraudulent activities.
All right, and this is free, so there's no kind of fee or anything, not for the shred, not for the medical drop, not for the walk, not for the fun, all that kind of stuff. And there's going to be vendors there. And when we say vendors, we don't mean just like arts and crafts vendors. We mean vendors that can help folks and their families.
Yes, think about all of the organizations that want to protect seniors like AARP, and this is an intergenerational event. So it's a walk, it's a stroll, it's a roll. Come out, have a good day. It's always beautiful weather at Triad Park. It's near the Field of Honor, and there's lots of free giveaways, lots of good information, music, and free food.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to some of the scams that are kind of making their way around our area. And David, let's talk about cryptocurrency scams and ATMs and things of that nature.
Sure. When I give presentations on senior fraud or any kind of scams, one of the things I say towards the end is you can tell it's a scam by the way they want you to pay. And if they want you to pay by Western Union wire transfer or go out and buy a bunch of gift cards and read the numbers off the back to them, or now if they want you to go to an ATM for Bitcoin, a Bitcoin ATM at a local store in your neighborhood and deposit cash into that machine after dialing in a few numbers. That's the newest way that scammers on the other side of the world or across the street from you will try to get you to pay them, because it's untraceable. They get their hands on the money instantaneously and you're out the money right away. So it's amazing how many of these Bitcoin ATMs there are in your vicinity. You can just go on a website and click in ATMs in my location and up will pop, dozens of them. Usually it's a convenience store or gas station. And this is where the scammers are directing people to go pay their money.
Okay, so we're talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about gift cards and things of that nature. And Mark, I think, when we're in the middle of the scam, sometimes we forget, hey, the IRS or my phone company has never asked me for any kind of payment like that.
No, the Social Security Administration, nor the IRS, nor any type of benefits like Medicare, Medicaid, or veterans benefits. Remember, we have more veterans in this state than any other. They're not going to contact you, and they're especially not going to ask you to pay them money to give you increased benefits. You need to go to the trusted organization, either their office locally or call their toll-free number. You make the contact. They're not going to call you, and they're absolutely not going to ask you for sensitive information like your debit card number or credit card number.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people kind of get thrown off, David, because the number that comes up on their caller ID looks like the IRS or says it's the sheriff's office or whatever, and it's a spoofed number, but they look at the caller ID and they say, okay, that's got to be them.
Yes, and these are techniques that have been used for over a decade now. And what's really getting scary on these impersonation scams, like when they're impersonating one of your friends who supposedly is in trouble overseas, or your grandchild who's been arrested at the beach, they are now able to create through artificial intelligence the voice of your child or the voice of your friend, and in many instances an actual video of that grandchild or your friend. So it's getting more and more scary with each passing week what these scammers are able to do. And again, you'll panic when you see this image of your grandchild and go do all these things that the scammers want you to do, like put money in a Bitcoin ATM.
Okay, so I don't want anybody to miss that. They're using AI of people's voices that you know, and they're spoofing their phone number, and it makes it look like it's coming from them or it's coming from somewhere else and you're hearing their voice. So really you need to kind of like have some discussions with your family and friends and maybe have a few questions that only they can answer.
That's right. Talk with your family and friends about this beforehand. If you're in trouble, you let me know, but use this password. We're going to talk about this issue, and that's the best defense that you can use.
Right, and don't be using your kids' names or the names of your animals or anything like that. Those are too easy for them to possibly know. You got to go back into the memory banks and maybe think of a trip that you guys took together in a certain place that you went to or something like that, so you guys can really know that it's that person. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break right now. We've got one last segment, 336-379-5775.